Adrian McPherson, played quarterback at Southeast, played football at Florida State, played in the NFL, New Orleans Saints, played in Canada for 10 years. And I think today we're just a group of guys getting together that have done a great job playing the game and have been able to get a free college education playing the game. And we just want to give knowledge to the young guys coming up on just some of the things that we wish we would have known before taking on some of the opportunities that we were blessed with. So today, in today's episode, I just want to kind of talk to the youngsters about sacrifice and commitment that it takes to, I know for a lot of us growing up, we came from the inner city and we felt like the only way we can go to college was through sports. Moms were young, moms didn't really have, dads didn't really have, but a lot of us had a gift. And our parents had to sacrifice a lot. So today we want to talk about just the sacrifice and the commitment that we had to give, that our parents had to give to accomplish some of our goals. So, I'm interested to know, Mo, I played against you in high school, didn't really know you in high school. So, but what I did know is when we played Riverview, we needed to know where number 7 was at all times. So, I want to ask, what were some of the things that you felt like you had to do, sacrifice and commit to growing up?
Well, the sacrifices that I feel like I had to accomplish is, with me coming from a single parent home, not having a father in my lifetime. I had 2 older brothers. I think the sacrifices that my mom made, with her just working a single job, she did whatever it took to make it possible for me to be able to make it. So I think the sacrifices that I did, like I had to choose the right path. I had to let some friends go that I thought was friends, especially when it came to like playing football. Like I had guys that I played with that was great athletes, but they was on the wrong path, out, doing things that we shouldn't be doing. So I give a lot of credibility to some guys that I played with in high school that helped me stay focused, like Todd Johnson, John Chavez, those guys there. It was just staying focused on what was important for me in my life. Right. So, so like with staying extra out the school, working extra, just doing stuff that made me not be able to be in the streets. Right. So long as I stayed at school, I was always doing something that was positive. And with me being young, when I was in 11th grade, I had a son. He was my first son I ever had, so I think he was a big thing that made me understand life and what I wanted to do with myself. He changed me a lot. So with me having a son at a young age, I felt that, like I can't be out just doing anything. Right. I had to make sure that this young one that I'm going to be raising will have a path to lead. So I felt like, like I said, with me being the first one to go to college, this can be something for my son to see. My dad was one of the first one to set this tone for me to be able to go to school. So I feel like that's what made me be the man that I am today. And I'm just grateful to be able to have opportunity, to help our youth, to understand that it's not hard to accomplish what you want to accomplish. It's just you got to have the mind focus and the will to want to do it. Right. So I'll say that was my.
So when I listened to you talk, the one thing that jumped out at me, what you said was you had to sacrifice friends or who you thought were friends.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so when you growing up, in the inner city and you sacrificed those friends for what you felt was better, was there pressure with that? How they made you feel about that?
It was a lot of pressure with it, but with me having 2 strong brothers, like I said, I had 2 brothers in my life, and they always taught me, that a friend gonna be with you when you're doing good or when you're doing bad. But a friend gonna want the best for you. So that's when I learned about what a friend is. Right. So when I got ready to get my opportunity to go to college, I had some guys that was like, dang, Mo act like he better than us. He don't want to hang out no more.
Right.
So that what made me realize like them ain't true friends.
Right.
Right. So the friends that was my friends was the ones that was saying, hey Mo, man, go get that scholarship, man. Right. Go get that education, man. Go do that. Make something better for us to be able to come see you do to accomplish in your life. So, that's what it was with that friend situation. So that's what I learned, so.
You know, and I feel like, you know, when we talk about the sacrifice, the commitment, you know, we all come from obviously different households. You know, like you sit here saying you came from a single mom household. I had both of my parents, you know, but we all, you know, have to sacrifice something. So, you know, and not only that, but we've all taken different paths to get where we went.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different ways you can get the goal accomplished. But we all sacrificing something. So it's kind of neat to sit here and hear, you know, what you felt you had to sacrifice, which is a little bit different from what I had to sacrifice. Yeah. You know, but we can all touch a kid in a different way. There's a kid that's gonna grow up just like you. There's a kid that's gonna grow up in a similar situation to me. Yeah. So I feel like with all us having different things that we had to sacrifice, we can all give that knowledge to some kid. You know, so you know. Good. So after hearing from you, I'm interested to hear, Jerron, what you sacrificed.
For me personally, I would say I sacrificed a lot of time, and with that time, like you said, you affect friendships, relationships, you know, people that you plan life with. I had friendships that I thought, you know, my boy was gonna be my boy for life. I had women I, you know, thought would be, you know, my potential wife, but unfortunately, you know, I had to put my time in something that mattered more than me, you know, and I lost some friendships, lost people I cared about. Things I wanted to do, I didn't have the time to do them, but you know, I put more time into, you know, what was going to benefit me in the long run, which was ultimately getting to that free education and, you know, trying to lighten the load of my mom in her situation. So my sacrifice was, you know, putting away with the things I wanted to do and chasing, you know, my personal goals as far as life and hanging with my friends and hanging with the girls. I sacrificed those things to become a better man and put myself in a better position to ultimately be a leader for my household, which was, you know, providing and protecting, you know, my sisters, my brother, and my mom. So for me, that was, you know, as a kid, you know, looking back on it, that was a big sacrifice and a big choice to make. But looking back on it in hindsight, I'm, you know, eternally grateful I made that choice, man. I'm thankful looking back on it where I'm at and where I became, and you know, the man I became and the people that surround me now, because I put the time into something that mattered more, and you know, that was bigger than myself at the time.
Right. That's deep there. That's deep there, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's different, but it got you to the same common goal as it got Mo to, you know, and now I'm gonna turn to you, Vern, to ask you, you know, what did you sacrifice, what did you commit to at a young age growing up to chase whatever it is you wanted to chase in life?
I mean, pretty much piggybacking on everything you all just said as far as, you know, getting around the same people that got the same vision as you do. You know, finding somebody with the same mindset that's gonna grind with you. You know, me and him a perfect testament to that. You know, sacrificing time, letting go certain situations, you know, your priorities change, you know what I mean? Stuff that was important to you is not important no more due to what I want to get accomplished, you know, trying to be the first in my family, like most of us are, whether to graduate, whether to just go to college. You know, some people don't even know. Like, it might not be a big deal in some families, but just to take that trip means a lot to your family. Like, they might throw a whole party, you know, just because of that little gesture. And, you know, just leading by example, you know, wanting to lead by example, wanting to be different, you know, you're not gonna fit in with the crowd when you want to do everything right, you know. A lot of people might feel like you switching up on them, but you just gotta know where you headed, you know, and the vision that we got, and just trying to give that stuff back to these kids is just really gonna be a blessing. Therapeutic for us and a blessing to them. So,
I mean, it's for me, it's great to hear, you know, all of y'all talk about what we sacrificed, what we committed to, because I think we all have done that in a different way, you know. But I think, you know, just kind of the one thing that, you know, I feel we kind of left out, because I can go on and on about the same things because we all sacrifice that in a way, but you know, a big thing that, you know, I tell people all the time is what my parents sacrificed for me to be able to just do, you know, what I wanted to do. You know, my dad always told me, look, as long as you take care of the books, we'll sacrifice what we got to sacrifice for what you want to do. But you got to take care of your books, and you have to put in the time towards whatever you're trying to accomplish. You know, we'll take you wherever you want to go, you know, as long as we know you're doing your part, you know. So to see, you know, to know that we didn't have a lot, you know, which I thought we had a lot until I got older and realized we didn't really have a lot, right? So to know that I was a real good basketball player and my parents would make a summer vacation out of taking me to a basketball camp, that's a sacrifice for them. You know, it was like, okay, well, you want to go to camp, we gonna take you to camp, but then we gonna take your sisters and we gonna go to Six Flags, wherever it is we're going. You know, so to see that sacrifice out of my parents, in return, maybe the game took on a whole different meaning to me. You know, when I stepped on the court with you, when I stepped on the field with you, it was more than personal. Like, well, mama couldn't go on vacation because she took me to this camp. You know what I mean? She sacrificed vacation for me to go to camp. So since she took me to that camp, no disrespect, but I'm gonna embarrass you today. I got to. You know, she's sacrificing everything to give me an opportunity. And I think it's key for kids to understand when their parents are sacrificing. Pay that back. Pay that back with effort, with doing the right things. Because your parents don't have to do that. You know, and I think that, you know, so many kids nowadays feel like they're so used to parents being at games on Saturdays, parents buying them new shoes, expensive shoes I might add, that they think that that's the way it's supposed to be like that. And they don't realize it's kids out there that don't have nothing. You know what I mean? Or it's parents out there that's not coming to no games. It's easy for them to, you know, kind of take that for granted because it's just always there. You know what I mean? So I think that's important, just to let kids know that, you know, just like, first of all, you got to make a sacrifice if you want to accomplish what you're saying you want to accomplish. Because it's a guy out there like us that's sacrificing everything. And if we run up against you and you haven't, it's going to be a long day for you.